You're not ready for this bombshell because the royal fairy tale just cracked wide open. A quiet shopkeeper has just come forward, claiming Meghan Markle secretly purchased a fake pregnancy bump. And not just any bump, but a custom, hyper-realistic prosthetic used in films. Let that sink in. The woman who gave emotional interviews about pregnancy struggles and posed on magazine covers as a modern royal mom may have staged the entire thing. If this is true, even halfway true, it flips everything we thought we knew about Meghan, Archie's birth, and the image she's sold the world. And the craziest part, the internet isn't waiting for proof. The court of public opinion is already in session and you do not want to miss what's coming next. So here's where it gets bizarre. A shopkeeper, yes, an actual shopkeeper. Not a tabloid gossip claims Meghan Markle or her team contacted them to buy a fake baby bump. Not for Halloween, not for a movie role, for real life. And we're not talking about some cheap Amazon prop. This was allegedly a custom, film-grade prosthetic bump with exact measurements. Suddenly, all those weird moments, the bump folding, the shape-shifting stomach, the squatting while 9 months pregnant, don't seem so crazy anymore, do they? Meghan Markle, not to be confused with Meghan Sussex, might have just rewritten royal history with silicone. And while some are calling this sexist or unfair, others are asking the real question. If this is even 50% true, what else was fake? This isn't protecting your privacy. It's full-blown stagecraft. Let's be honest, Meghan has always known how to control a narrative. From Oprah specials to Netflix deals, she's the queen of I don't know what this means, but I'm going to say it anyway. But faking a pregnancy, that's not PR, that's performance. The royal family may be outdated, but people still respected the tradition. If Meghan wore a moon bump to manipulate that system, while giving emotional interviews about motherhood, that's not just disrespectful, it's manipulative. And where was Harry in all this? Was he in on it, or just too busy playing podcast? Producer, either he's complicit or completely clueless. Not a great look for someone once seen as Diana's son. Meanwhile, King Charles' say what you want was never a deadbeat dad. He didn't marry a yacht girl or fake his way into royal sympathy. Yet here's Harry, giving speeches like he's still an active royal. It's pathetic. Now here's where things start spinning out of control. Old videos of Meghan are flooding TikTok and YouTube again. People are slowing them down, zooming in, and pointing out moments where her baby bump mysteriously collapses, swings, or magically changes size in the span of a day. It's like a royal blooper reel, but the punchline isn't funny, it's eerie. Clips of Meghan casually bending down in heels while heavily pregnant are going viral again. You ever seen a pregnant woman move like that? Most would need a forklift just to get up. But Meghan, she's bouncing like she's auditioning for Suits again. And sure, years ago these theories were labeled crazy conspiracy talk. But now, with this shopkeeper's alleged bombshell, suddenly everyone's rethinking what they laughed off. Meghan might be the only woman to give birth and still leave people asking, was there ever a pregnancy at all? Let's not kid ourselves, Meghan has always treated her life like a brand. Roll out. She didn't just marry into the royal family, she marketed it. She and Harry gave up palace protection for podcast promotion. And yet, when they walked away, they told us it was all about privacy, right? But then came the Oprah special, the Netflix doc, the Spotify disaster, the book deal. The jam jars. Need we go on? If this fake bump story has any legs, it proves it was never about privacy. It was about control, crafting the perfect image. From staged baby photos to skipping the hospital step tradition, Meghan didn't just dodge royal expectations, she bulldozed them. And now that the carefully curated image is cracking, the public is asking, was the whole modern motherhood narrative just another scripted scene? Because if it was, then Meghan didn't just fool the monarchy, she fooled the world. Let's talk about the other half of this royal duo, Prince Harry. Because if Meghan really did use a fake bump, there are only two options. He knew, or he didn't. And honestly, neither looks good. If he was in on it, that means he stood beside her, smiled for the cameras, and helped sell a global lie. If he wasn't, then he somehow missed the fact that his wife was wearing a costume belly while the world watched. Come on, Harry, were you that distracted by your California smoothies and chicken coop therapy sessions? The man left the royal family to protect his family. But how can you protect what might not have even been real? People are wondering if Harry has been emotionally manipulated, or if he's just as invested in building the brand over telling the truth. Either way, the prince who once wore a Nazi costume might have just upgraded to playing royal dad in a costume drama no one signed up for. And through all this chaos, Meghan's team has said nothing. Not a single denial, not a vague PR statement, not even a carefully worded destruction story about a new gem flavor. Total radio silence, which might have worked years ago, but now silence reads like guilt. The public is filling in the blanks, and the blanks aren't pretty. Meghan's brand was built on being authentic, raw, and vulnerable. But if this moon bump story is true or even plausible, then that authenticity shatters. People feel duped. They didn't just buy into her story. They defended it, fought for it, believed in it. Now, those same people are side-eyeing every speech, every tearful interview, every belly-touching moment like it's part of a script. And that's the danger, because when the illusion breaks, even the real parts start to look fake. And once the public loses trust, there's no prosthetic in the world that can cover that up. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? Remember when Meghan and Harry announced Archie's birth? There was no traditional hospital step photo, no immediate press announcement, and a strangely delayed public introduction. At the time, fans defended the couple's right to privacy. But now, that entire timeline is being re-examined like a cold case file. Suddenly, what once looked like modern parenting now feels more like cover-up choreography. Why skip the hospital steps when every royal woman before her did, including Diana and Kate? Just hours after giving birth, Meghan was nowhere to be seen. And when she did appear, her body looked, well, off, not postpartum, just perfectly polished, like she was on her way to a Netflix premiere, not recovering from labor. If the fake bump theory is even partially accurate, these choices weren't just personal, they were strategic, calculated, a PR campaign disguised as a family milestone. And that's what stings the most for people, because if you're going to rewrite royal tradition, fine. But don't lie to the public while cashing in on the royal spotlight. That's not revolution. That's manipulation wrapped in a designer coat. Here's what most people don't realize. Hollywood doesn't care about truth, it cares about optics. Meghan was a dream at first. The American actress turned duchess. The rebel who challenged the crown. The beautiful outsider who stood up to royal cruelty. She was marketable, bankable. But if the moon bump story catches on, and let's be honest, it already has, then her entire brand becomes radioactive. Because the industry might forgive drama, ego, even scandals, but being exposed as a fraud, that's career poison. No studio wants to partner with someone whose image feels built on deception. Publicists hate clients who can't shake a narrative, and producers won't touch a figure whose headlines overshadow their work. Right now, Meghan's past interviews are being rewatched not as insight, but as evidence. Her stories about motherhood, under the microscope. Her belly rubs on stage, frozen, analyzed, memmed. It's not a comeback arc, it's damage control. And if she doesn't respond soon, Hollywood might quietly ghost her. Because nothing terrifies this industry more than investing in someone who turns out to be a script. In human form, this scandal isn't just a PR disaster, it's emotional warfare for many women, especially mothers. Meghan didn't just present herself as a royal mom, she leaned into it with deeply personal stories. She spoke of postpartum struggles, cradling Archie during quiet moments, and even delivered heartfelt lines about miscarriage and maternal mental health. These weren't just anecdotes, they were anchors that built her public persona as a vulnerable, relatable figure. But if the pregnancy itself was fate, then it's not just a lie, it's emotional exploitation. Real mothers, women who've endured pregnancy, loss, and recovery, now feel like their truth was used as a marketing tool. And that's what's enraging people. Because it's not about whether Meghan had the right to privacy or to choose a surrogate, it's about the performance, the act, the photos, the speeches, the belly cradles on stage. It's one thing to be private. It's another to put on a show and ask the world to applaud while selling merch and memoirs based on it. That crosses a line not just of authenticity, but of empathy. And when mothers feel betrayed, the fallout is personal, vocal, and unforgiving. Meghan and Harry left the monarchy with one clear weapon: their story. They told us they wanted to share their truth. That's what Netflix, Spotify, and Penguin Random House all bought into. But now, if that story includes a faked pregnancy, even allegedly, it crumbles the foundation of everything they've sold since. Their production company runs on personal narrative. Their podcast sold emotional insights. Their memoirs leaned on raw truth. But when even one core piece of that puzzle is exposed as fiction, the whole structure shakes. Brands are already backing away. Spotify cut ties. Netflix cooled off. And the public, no longer hanging on their every word. Now it's suspicion that drives clicks, not support. If Meghan doesn't address this fast, the silence will be her answer, and that answer will echo. Because in today's world, perception is reality. And even if the shopkeeper's receipts never go public, the idea of the fake bump is enough to poison the well. It's no longer their truth. It's our doubts. And that shift in perspective, that's how icons fade, quietly, without a single crown falling, just the trust behind it. So here we are, one shopkeeper, one fake baby bump, and an avalanche of questions no royal PR team can clean up. Meghan's silence, louder than any. Denial. Harry's role, still murky. And the trust they built since leaving the palace, cracking like a moon bump under pressure. Whether you believe the claim or not, one thing's clear: the public is no longer clapping. They're side-eyeing. And the story, it's just getting started. Because if this is what's leaking now, imagine what hasn't come out yet. You've seen how fast one whisper becomes a headline, so keep watching. We'll be diving even deeper into what the palace won't say, and what Hollywood pretends not to notice. But that's a story for another time.